Hi guys, Shar with Rue here, gonna be your host. My partner in crime, Sam, is joining as well, and she's gonna rock through a lot of tips and tricks for y'all. This is our first Rue webinar, and it's certainly my personal first, so excuse my nerves. But welcome all of our Rue Vet Med peeps and our new Rue Vet Med peeps. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to talk through how to supercharge your hospital with relief. This one's really for the unsung heroes of vet med, caught in the management pressure cooker, working really hard to make it happen. That's every owner, practice manager, and operator in the field. So we're here. We see you, we hear you, and we're responding to that. The vet med landscape is changing, and we're all working really hard to adjust. Visits are down a little bit, and so you're asking yourself, I'm sure, how the heck does it make sense to add relief in the mix? But hear us out, and I promise this is going to be low key, fun, and interactive, and inspiring use of your time. So we'll kick it off with meeting the team. Sam, I say we start with you.
Hey, I have been with Rue since 2022, helping hospitals find great relief coverage. Like Shar said, it's a first for me, so I'm a little nervous. So if you see me take some deep breaths, that's why. I earned my CVPM in 2019, and I get to stay active with all the CE. I'm very passionate about leadership in vet med. Before Rue, I worked in multi-site operations, and I was a practice manager before that at a large DFW animal hospital. I really love making life easier for hospital teams with a focus on budget, culture, and support. All right, Shar, tell them about you.
Love it, Sam. Fun fact, Sam and I had worked together previously before Rue at Patwell Partners. So shout out to Powell and the peeps who have joined us from that. HHP, y'all. So I'm Shar, first Rue employee, VP of Hospital Success, and avid co-owner operator of 2525 Sunset Veterinarians, personal practice located in Houston, Texas. Also, like Sam, come from multi-site operations, startup specific in the veterinary field, and we're here to form a community. We're not going to say we have all the answers, but we'd love to share some of the answers we've found. So, some ground rules for today's chat. Come with an open mind. We're all here to figure this out together. Envision the impact of our discussions on your personal practice and your practice needs. Please ask all the questions. We're here to help. We want to address the questions at the end, and be sure to pop them all over in the chat as we go. And then community, we're here for it. We're here to help build it. You're not alone, and we're here to help. I know personally how isolating it can feel to be a practice manager or an operator and sort of be under the gun a little bit on your EBITDA. So Sam and I have both experienced that. We're here to step in and help. Let's start with a quick poll. Don't be shy. Just let me know. It's a curiosity thing for me. Are you currently using Rue? And I'll give it a minute. We can see what comes through. Y'all should see it populate here. Results are in, and it looks like about 50% currently are using Rue, and the others, I hope you do. We'll move into that. We're going to hop right in. Bad pun, I know, but I couldn't help myself. And so we're here to discuss the business of your practice. Like I said earlier, the landscape of vet med is changing, y'all, and visits are down. Clients are tightening up on their spending habits a bit. We're here to work together and ensure a few things. Number one, you're going to be heard. Ask those questions. Number two, you are supported. Sam and I, you'll have contact info posted at the end. Feel free to reach out anytime you'd like. If you have a question, you just want to vent, we're here. We've been there. We understand. And then number three, you're prepared. How are we going to tackle this? Like, how in the heck would relief help with this? Well, I think it's really important to understand your hospital today. So bear with me in my exercise that we're about to do. We want you to understand your hospital's DNA. Each practice is its own little ecosystem, and each element of stability or change, scary word change, contributes to that system. It's important to understand your clinic's current DNA and ecosystem, and then look for opportunities to improve your system. Some variables we have direct control over. Some we do not. But for those that we lack control, we do have the ability to respond, and we can create an impact. So let's hop right in to the think tank. Deep breath, open mind. Do me a favor, close your eyes. Imagine your practice today. What are all the things you love? What are some of the things you want to change? And what are the blockers to that change that you see? And I know this is so difficult, the how, the when, the what, the why, the word change running through your mind. But do me a favor, pop your eyes open and let's open up a spreadsheet. And you can do this today, you can do it down the road. I know y'all love spreadsheets. We use them all the time. So across 3 columns in your spreadsheet, you're going to create economics, services, and capacity. And then across your rows, I want you to make today, tomorrow, 2026. We're going to kind of talk through this in framework. I want you to visualize your today, think about what you want to see tomorrow, and then know that we can't change things overnight. So we like to see that change for 2026. So let's start with your economic factors in that capacity. Today, tomorrow, 2026. Your ETC, your appointment flow. Do you have your high days, your low days? Does your practice have any seasonality? And I know this is the hot topic of debate in vet med, but I'll call it out. Seasonality exists. Are you seeing capacity constraints? Are high flow days turning into no days? No days being no to clients. We're at capacity, we can't see your pet. We don't control these factors, but we can pivot to respond to them. So consider your economic factors. Services. Next column. Tech practice, DVM practice. Who's driving your practice? Do you offer standalone tech services? Do you offer diversity in your services, diagnostics or therapies? And then just consider, because that big one, that's a big guy, diversity in services, diagnostic and therapies. There's a lot of blockers there, right? What are the blockers to expanding those services? I know there's a lot. Capital expenditure, team education and training, client buy-in and education. List them out. This is a really important exercise. And this is great to do, by the way, with your entire team, your medical directors, all of your doctors, your CSRs, everybody, team exercise. Let's move on to capacity. Your capacity, are you doing nights, weekends, your tech appointments? Do you do any drop-offs? Okay, soapbox on drop-offs. What a win-win. We have found drop-offs to be so successful. Our clients love them, and the team loves them too. But if you're looking to implement them, just a word of advice, be sure to add in the client education time at the end of the day. Lesson learned there, my parking lot was legit just packed between 4 to 5. And in the effort to get people out the door, client education did suffer. So build in that time for discharge for these guys. Are you at capacity? Not generally, are you at full capacity? I think we could all safely say most of us aren't, but day to day, and for example, my clinic, like most, we are flat out on Mondays and Fridays. Everybody all weekend, didn't get to get the pet in until Monday, and then building up to the weekend by Friday, we want to get them in for those who are early planners, flat out. If you're at 75% booking the day before, you are at capacity, and the opportunity is there to add more. So consider what you want to offer to expand, consider the blockers, consider the plan in place to remove those blockers. And again, this can fall under your column for tomorrow, or the big lift can fall under the column for 2026. There really isn't a problem that doesn't have a solution in vet med. So next poll, tell me, are you at capacity today? We'll take a break and see the results because I'm actually super interested. Right, look at this. I couldn't have asked for a better group, y'all. It's about 50-50, which is amazing and epic. So, okay, lovely blend. Thank you so much for that information. It's super helpful for us. And I think the greater team too seeing that. So moving on, how do you know when to adjust? You've just gone through this internal brainstorm. You've completed our opportunities list, and you're trying to figure out like, how do you know when to adjust? And just like a little departure here, I'm a huge Nike fan. So what I state next makes perfect sense, but just do it. If you have identified that you are in fact suffering capacity constraints, take the leap. Maybe not the leap, dare I say hop and book a half day shift. Half days are exceptional. Low entry fee with the ability to generate a substantial chunk of revenue. It's wild. I tested it out myself. I do have a full formula to follow, but I'll run it down for you quickly. Half day DVM, two texts to the DVM drop offs. My pay to the DVM was $650. We generated 3K in revenue. I thought, wow, that worked out pretty well. So we added two more. That's 9,000 a week. That's 36,000 a month. Yes, please. Certainly helped my EBITDA. This is how I scaled my practice with Relief, which has only been open 3.5 years, is a 4.5 doctor practice. So I can say I hopped in and tested it, and it worked, and especially during those high volume days. And then I just replicated that to create a high revenue return. Half day turned into full, turned into doctor hire number 3, and then we kicked it in gear for doctor 4. But money aside, let's talk staffing pressures, team wellness, and just your general ability to keep your team engaged and happy and healthy. Adding routine relief really gives your team the support and flexibility they need to take their well-deserved time off, and without that stress and guilt, which we know accompanies it. Also, compassion fatigue is real in our industry, and it extends far past the patient and client, but also our team and the day-to-day pressure cooker they live within. And I know earlier you read extended hours, evenings, weekends, and we're like, end call. I get it. Trust me. But again, we're here for solutions. So if you've identified that your afternoon, evenings, or weekends are non-existent or booking out, consider expansion with Relief. Back to the half day shift, low entry, high return. And the beauty of it is we offer Relief techs also to support that DVM capacity and growth. Always start small, see results, and then grow big. So scaling your practice with Relief, it just sounds so easy, right? Well, no. I mean, don't forget, we're practice managers, owners, operators. Like literally nothing is easy. Nothing in my day in this office in Houston, Texas is easy. We can all relate to that. In fact, most practice owners and managers don't think they have time to scale because they spend most of their days in triage mode. That's me. I feel like I don't have time, but what I learned in this endeavor, this dream of mine of opening a practice in the heart of Houston, Texas, and pushing myself to the brink was to take the time. Take the intentional time, y'all. Put the work in to map out your today, your tomorrow, and your future. I promise you it'll be worth it. And then we've actually created a crafty little relief equation to share. So take your ATC, multiply it by the additional appointments created. That's your gross revenue. Once you take your gross revenue and you subtract out your relief vet cost, that's your net revenue. This places your relief cost right at 25 to 30% of gross revenue, which is right where you want to be on that EBITDA. But is this real life? Are we just sales? Correction, Sam and I are not sales, we're operators, but we're here to help you out. So let's put this into practice. Our next slide is real life. So we're going to go ahead and take that ATC of 225 in a practice. We're going to multiply that by 10 appointments seen. That gives us about $2,250 in gross revenue. We're then going to take that gross revenue and subtract our DVM cost at 645. That's $1,605 of net revenue. And that puts us right at 28.7%. I mean, I think that's wonderful. But honestly, enough of me, my equations. I'm going to kick over to Sam because she's going to share some best practices in using Relief. Sam, it's all you, girl.
Thank you. Hi, Sam here. Let's talk about some real ways to get the most out of Relief. We've got another poll for you. Tell us, what are your busiest days of the week? And you can choose multiple here. We're curious. Our suspicions were correct. We've got Mondays and Fridays at the top. That is because we were there. We were also there. I see some Saturdays and Sundays, so we've got some people that are open both days during the weekend. I've worked in a practice like that as well. All right. Well, let's talk about some real ways to use relief in your practice. Okay, we're going to talk about your real MVPs of your team, right? Your front desk. We know they can make or break your practice. That's why it's so important that they feel comfortable and confident when a relief vet is on the schedule. If there are any questions or concerns, talk through it early. Make sure your team knows who's going to be working that day so that they can introduce the relief vet like they're part of the crew. A simple, we have Dr. Smith with us that day. You're going to love them. Even if you do not know the vet at all, is going to go a lot further than we've got a relief vet that day. Clients do not know what a relief vet is. It's really confusing and it'll make them hesitate to book with you guys. Quick tip. I'm sure you guys are using this a lot in your staff meetings. Role playing. We do it with new products. Why not new people? So if your team's not used to relief vets, go ahead and encourage them to come up with questions they think that the clients are going to ask and encourage them to come up with the answers. You don't have to have it all. Let the team do the work. And by doing so, they're going to feel a lot more comfortable answering those questions with clients. The more prepared your front desk team is, the easier it'll be to fill the schedule, and that's going to help you get the most out of your relief. Let's move on to communication. It doesn't just stop at your front desk. If your team isn't used to working with relief vets, it's worth taking a few minutes to coach them on how to collaborate that day. I know our teams get really comfortable with their vets and how they like to do things. So having someone new step in can feel a little intimidating. Now, how do we prep the relief vet? Touching base with the doctor before the shift goes a long way, clears up any confusion, helps them feel really comfortable working with your team before they even set foot in the practice. And if you won't be there that day because you deserve time off, it's especially important to make sure they know exactly who to ask for when they arrive. And one thing that worked really well for us is a short welcome letter. So we had just a quick 2-page letter that we sent to all of our relief vets before their first shift. It had important information like our appointment flow, what was our flea tick and heartworm that we had on the shelf, what were our available diagnostics, and it also included contact information for myself and our medical director. It really made a huge difference in helping them hit the ground running. All right, productivity. That's the name of the game, right? In order to get the most out of our relief vets, we have to have adequate support staff. While we know a 1.5 or 2-to-1 tech to DVM ratio is ideal, even higher for some of our really productive vets, budgets don't always allow for that. That's where your hospital's workflow really makes a huge difference. You can even make it happen on a 1-to-1 ratio if you set it up right. Pair your relief vet with your most experienced and organized techs. Oh, did I skip a slide? I'm sorry, guys. I just realized it. Um, First webinar problems, right? That's my bad. So technicians, right? They are super important, and I just dug right into it. That's how important they are. I just wanted to start talking about it. I didn't even want to go through the last slide. All right, those techs. You want to pair them with the right technician, the ones that are the most organized, more organized than I am, and the ones that can communicate really well and keep things moving. The more your techs can handle, the things they're really great at, the sample collections, inputting charges, creating those treatment plans, client education, the more it frees up the vet to focus on what only the vet can do. Some other ways to ensure capacity, like Shar already mentioned, drop-offs. The quiet game changer of relief vet productivity. If you have the space and the staff, use it. Oftentimes, a relief vet can work a half day and still see 10 to 15 patients if you're stacking those appointments correctly, mixing up wellness and those simple illness cases appropriately. You can even catch up on those booked out wellness visits while your doctor focuses on procedures. So schedule up those dentals, have your vet handle them, and then schedule a relief vet to work a half day shift so you don't miss out on those appointments. And don't forget, if a room appointment needs a full workup, lab work, x-rays, you name it, convert it to a drop off so your team doesn't fall behind. Last, let's schedule smart as much as you can. Alternating those illness and wellness cases is going to give your team some buffer time if a sick patient runs long. You don't get off track. And try not to book a sick pet as the last appointment of the day. A wellness visit there is going to help your relief vet finish their notes quickly, and then everyone gets to leave on time. Nobody has to stay late. All right, more on communication? I know. But it's that crucial. Quick huddles in the morning, midday, and even at the end of the day can make a really big difference when you've got a relief vet on the floor. A tech or a shift lead can easily run these. It doesn't have to be you. These check ins are going to help everyone stay on the same page, especially your front desk team if you're utilizing those drop offs. We know clients are constantly texting and calling to find out how's their pet doing? When did they get to pick them up? So, having these quick check ins and easy communication stop points will really help your front desk team stay on top of that. It'll also help your team identify anywhere that you can possibly squeeze in a last minute appointment. If you're running on time and the vet says yes, get them in. Let's also talk about visual communication. It really can go a long way. Use what works for your team. If you've got fancy electronic whiteboards, pull them up. We always had old school dry erase whiteboards, and they work great. Some hospitals have room flags to show like what's the appointment status. And then I also had a hospital who used color-coded clipboards that I replicated at other hospitals because it worked so well. You could easily spot what appointment is what type. That's a tech visit. That's a doctor visit. That's a prescription refill. It was great. Oh, checklist. Another simple but powerful tool. And I know there's people on this call that have worked with me in the past, so they know how much I love a good checklist. They really help everyone see what's been done and what still needs attention. Another quick one, having pre-made treatment plans for your most common cases saves time and it helps keep your care consistent. Just be sure your team is able to give the vets a little medical flexibility as long as it aligns with your standards. Lastly, check in with your relief vet at the end of the shift. They've probably worked at a lot of different hospitals and they've probably seen so many different things. So it's a chance for you to learn what's worked really well at other places. Even ask them what worked well at your place and maybe what could have been done differently, because you might want to try to bring some of that into your practice. Okay, let's explore some ways that RU can work for you. Okay, we've touched on some of this already, but just a quick summary. Relief allows you to keep caring for patients in the event of unexpected illnesses, long term or short term. I know some people have people out on maternity leave or medical leave, so don't miss out on care. It also gives you the chance to expand capacity without overloading your team. You get to say yes to more patients on your already popular days, and you can even test out expanding hours during the week or on the weekends. Maybe even just reduce your wait time. I know when I said weekends, some of you probably cringed. A lot of my hospitals in 2020 closed on the weekends during the pandemic because we had so much demand during the week that we really needed that time to rest and reset. Now that things are settling back into pre-pandemic levels for a lot of our hospitals, the weekend availability is becoming a necessity for a lot of clients. You can work on winning them back using relief so your team doesn't have to give up the beautiful schedules that they've become accustomed to having those weekends off. If you're not sure what you need, that's okay. Try out the half day shifts we talked about earlier. You can pair this with a surgery day or just test it out to add in a few additional appointments on your most popular days. Okay, we've got some testimonials for you guys. We wanted to give you a feel for what some of your peers are saying about Rue. Highland Square Family Vet in Lakeland, Florida, they wanted to expand their availability by opening on Saturdays. Thanks to Rue, they were able to add that extra day of coverage, keeping care consistent for their patients while making it easier for clients to book appointments. So they were able to get new clients and accommodate their current clients. As Megan Bodo, the practice manager at Highland Square, puts it is for keeping availability open. I use Rue primarily for Saturdays. I didn't have a doctor that was working on Saturdays. This ties right back to what Shar mentioned earlier, thinking about your hospital's unique setup and how expanding capacity, especially on the weekends, can be a real growth opportunity. All right, the next testimonial is near and dear to my heart. I had the pleasure of onboarding Dr. Murphy, the owner of Republic Veterinary Hospital in Kyle, Texas. When we spoke, it was clear how passionate she was about her practice and her patients. Being available for them is her top priority. But as a practice owner and the sole practitioner, she wears all the hats, and it's not sustainable to work around the clock. Rue helped her strike that balance. By bringing in relief coverage during the week, she was able to open her doors, maintain appointment availability, and carve out time for the behind the scenes, really fun admin work that keeps her practice running smoothly. And if we have a majority practice manager on this call, you guys are the ones keeping that admin work going. So kudos to you. This is what she said about Rue. Rue is just completely different. The doctors that I've used have been great with high quality work. That's exactly the kind of support we love seeing Rue provide, giving practice owners and managers the flexibility they need without compromising care for their patients. Okay, we've got Rue. So if you haven't seen Rue before, this is what it looks like. It's super easy to use. It is the best way to book relief. I could be partial, but having used a lot of different resources in my management days, this truly is the easiest way to do it. We've got the largest network of relief vets and techs. We have over 20,000 professionals on the platform, and we've provided over 2 million hours of coverage. That's staggering and so cool to see. It's totally free to join and post shifts. Seriously, no strings. You're in the driver's seat. You post the shifts in seconds. Whenever you start getting requests, you get to browse through the vet and tech profiles and choose who you think is going to be the best fit for your hospital. You only pay when someone picks up the shift. We also make staffing stress free. We handle a lot of the behind the scenes stuff screening, paperwork, payroll, check, we got it. It's a great way to avoid burnout and turnover, giving your team real time off, right? That's the dream, real time off. Did that just like make everyone go, how do I do that? I know as a practice manager, I don't know what real time off was, but you don't have to sacrifice patient care giving your team that time off. It's a total win. And if you're looking to make a permanent hire, our permanent placement option lets you work with someone before making that long term decision. It's like a working interview, but so much better. All right, I'm kicking it back over to Shar. She's got some more tips on how to use Rue.
I was thinking of time off, actually. Thank you, Sam. Beautifully stated. So finding your next superstar, like hiring is rough right now. It's a jungle out there, y'all. So let us help you out. We offer full-time and part-time hiring with some awesome perks. We have two features. A match made in practice is our dedicated team. And when I say dedicated, by the way, Melissa is the most dedicated person ever. Melissa will help match your hospital with our most talented vets and techs while supporting both sides of every career transition. A huge shout out to Melissa. We also test the fit before you commit. I love this one and use it religiously at my practice. In fact, I am very picky who gets to enter our ecosystem. Our system is fun, spontaneous, supportive, and that little bubble that we've built, I don't want it burst. So I want to work together with them first and see how they vibe with my team, my clients, just overall my practice's DNA. And like I said, each practice is so different. So finding the right candidate is really important. It's really if they do or if they don't. But if it is a match, we will ensure a smooth transition. So you might be asking, where is Rue? Rue is everywhere you want to be. We just launched recently too in South Carolina, Rhode Island, Virginia, as well as Pittsburgh. And in Q3, we're looking to launch Indianapolis, Louisville, and Detroit. So expansion is always happening at Rue. If we're not in your area today, please throw the location in chat. I'd love to see it because we're looking at, spoiler alert, perhaps a big national launch at some point. So give me the fuel for that fire, guys. So tying out next steps, think about your practice's DNA, your needs, and then understanding if relief is right for you, then try Rue. Signing up is super simple. We've included a code here for you to sign up and register. Also, reaching out to Sam and I, as well as like our plethora of hospital teams, you can hit us up at hospital success at rue.vet, and we're here to support you with resources and webinars and C events and more. And we're just getting started on the hospital side. Guys, 2025 for Rue is the year of the hospital. So stick with us. It's going to be a fun ride. Any questions?
I did see someone in the chat say the villages in Central Florida. We are there. So post shifts, sign up if you're not signed up. And one thing I think I like to point out is even if you feel like you're in a rural part or you're not super close to a city, post your shifts anyway because vets will travel. We have this crazy map that shows how far vets travel to take shifts, and you'd be surprised. So if your shift isn't posted, our vets can't see it. So post them anyway because there's no strings attached.
Looks like we have a question. Do you have CVTs and DVMs that will come out to Western Mass? Hey guys, the answer is yes. Like Sam indicated, our veterinarian and technicians, in fact, are really willing to travel. We've done sort of like cohort analysis on where our vets and techs are willing to travel to, and it was shocking the amount of travel they're willing to put in. So get on there, post that shift. There's no cost to post the shift. You only pay upon confirmation after reviewing that potential vet or DVM's profile. So you have all the control here. Great question. Thank you.
Char, can you discuss the fees for placements for the permanent placements?
Yeah, absolutely. So our placement fees vary. Vets and techs, our technicians are tiered, and based on their tiered status, their placement is according to that. And so we have tiers essentially 1 through 3, and then specialty emergency, and it's incremental adjustment. So 1,000 for tier 1, 2 for tier 2, 3 for tier 3. We try to make it digestible there. For veterinarians, what we tend to do is 20% of their base salary. So a lot of practices offer pro sal, right, as a typical arrangement, or straight production, in which case we could kind of have that conversation. But if you are interested in that placement, chat with us. Let us know what you're looking to do on that payment side, and we can relay the fees and what that looks like. But we're right in the realm with every other agency that plays in the realm of placement.
We have a couple other coming through. So this isn't specifically a practice manager one, but as a CVT in Florida, can I work in other states? Can you speak to how our vets and techs will work in other states?
Yeah, absolutely. As you guys know, it's state dependent, right? As far as licensure, we do offer shifts that are specific by requirement for RVT, CVT, LVT, but we also offer shifts that obviously are non-credentialed. And so if you were to go and work in a non-credentialed area, if you happen not to be credentialed in that state, that is absolutely something you could do with us for sure.
Can you also speak a bit more to how we set our prices at RU for shifts?
That's it. Okay, so that's a great question. Our pricing at RU is super dynamic. Once you get in the hospital posting template, you'll notice it's really by shift, and it's timing and it's skill set, and that's where the dynamic pricing comes in. So based on what you're seeking, whether it's surgical shift or you're looking to take in those walk-ins, those drop-offs, when you're posting it matters. If it's closer to the shift occurring, the price will be a little bit more. Holidays, weekends also. But essentially, as you're creating that shift posting based on skill set and the timing, we will generate a price for you in that dynamic pricing.
All right, we have one from Christine. How do you navigate DVM licensing requirements for practice in different states? I own an emergency hospital that needs staffing in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, a smaller college town, not really near any big airports. I'm also interested in working some additional relief.
Okay, amazing. Sorry, Zach, repeat the first part of the question. How do we
So
handle?
how do we have DVM licensing requirements for different states? How do we handle that?
Absolutely. We work with veterinarians who do possess licenses for multiple states. And the way that your profile is set up as a veterinarian allows you to add all of that licensure, and then you have access to shifts in those states. And then as far as taking shifts, we would love for you to take shifts with us. And if you were looking to travel, we have a plethora of DVMs who enjoy traveling. And whether it's routine travel where they're popping in and their family is located in New England, let's say, and they're going up and hanging out and then taking shifts while they're there and then returning back down to Texas. We see that often in our route ecosystem. So we're happy to have private conversations too and support that. We have a whole veterinary AM and BD team who can partner with you and make sure that you're successful in taking those shifts as well as getting shifts into practice.
All right, we just have a couple more, but can you also book techs for half-day shifts?
Yes. techs can be booked for half-day shifts as well. I had to think about that. I've actually never been asked that. But yeah, you absolutely can, and I would absolutely say go for it. Obviously a huge half shift fan, but like at the end of the day, guys, like I'm an owner and operator, well, and I don't have the backing. The backing is me. I don't have the corporate backing. The backing is me and my bank account. So I look out for my team. And then I also look out for obviously the sustainability and growth of the practice so that we're all secure in what we're doing.
All right, I think one more. If we like a tech or doctor and would like to hire after a few shifts, how does that work? What is our process for the permanent placements?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a specific shift type you can put them through as well to test them out, make sure they're a fit again, make sure they're a good fit for your DNA, your ecosystem, they're vibing with your team, vibing with your clients. And then you would work directly with Melissa. She's the head of our full-time placement department, Melissa Free. And y'all, when I stated she's excellent, like you have no idea. Melissa would love to hear from you. If you have a match in mind, wonderful. If you don't, we can find that match for you. I guarantee it. These are great questions.
Yeah, I see one from, I think this is a technician. How do I go about requesting a shift as unlicensed? So the platform, when our hospitals go in and post shifts, they indicate if they need a license or not. So any of the ones that are showing up available to you, if you don't have a license, will allow you to request the shift. So if a RVT license or LVT license is required, and they indicate that on the shift, it will not even show up as requestable for you. I hope that answers that question. Melissa's contact info.
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
that. We can absolutely populate that in there, Zach. We can put Melissa's contact info up. She will love the plug and she will love hearing from y'all. Melissa started this entire department this year and is highly committed to making successful placements with y'all. And Melissa comes from a very similar background and same company as Sam and I previously, as well as some of our viewers today. And I can guarantee she will work with you as a partner. Make sure you get
Placements is the best one. Placements at rue.vet is going to be the
yes,
best email for her.
perfect. Tanya, yes, I believe we'll be sharing a recording. Zach, this will be available, right?
Yes, the webinar recording will be sent out afterwards in an email to everybody, whether you attended or not. So everybody will be getting it.
Okay, perfect. I'm just gonna give it another 30 seconds to see if we have everyone, your questions met. Are we missing any questions, Zach?
No, I think anything else we can follow up, or if there's any additional questions afterwards, just email hospitalsuccess@rue.vet.
Okay, perfect. Okay, guys, huge thank you. This was our first. I'm sure it won't be our best, but we did. I mean, Sammy did amazing. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you everyone for attending. We're going to be coming out with webinars, hopefully on a monthly basis. So we'll look to keep the engagement going. Feel free to send us ideas, questions, comments, concerns, and of course, like reach out to Sam and I. We like to jam in operations. It's like our thing, right? So, thank you, friends. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.